in the gloves. The gloves didn't fit.
New development in a murder trial that mesmerized this country 15 years ago. Scott Peterson found guilty of murdering his pregnant wife, Lacey.
Have you ever wondered what makes crime so popular? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's Mental Monday. I have a really fun one for you today. I want to talk about why we as humans become so interested in crime. And I don't mean actually committing. So if you think about some of the most eye-catching, popular, attention-grabbing headlines in the past 3 decades, there has been a consistent pattern of interest in crimes, and most specifically in murder. There's been 2 or 3 televised trials of the century. There are multiple shows dedicated to cold cases that have not been solved. There are several procedure TV sitcoms that give you details on how different sections of law enforcement attempt to solve crimes. And now there's podcasts where you're literally listening to somebody talk about a murder case that you would have never even known about had you not found that podcast and listened to it. Now, I do have to say, I completely fall into this trap. I obsess over Criminal Minds and NCIS, and I love watching CSI and seeing all of the different stuff that they do to get stories and information from the evidence they have. And I love watching Forensic Files. And I have repeatedly talked about my obsession with podcasts and the different crime podcasts I listen to. Real Crime Profile, I listen to Serial. Recently, I have found 2 more podcasts dedicated to specific cold cases that have yet to be solved, and I am super enthralled with them. Just hooked into the storyline. So fascinated about who these people are and what happened, why somebody would have done that, what law enforcement was thinking. I mean, it's crazy. What I always think about when I think about us as humans being interested in this type of stuff is voyeurism. Voyeurism can take many different forms. Even if you're just a people watcher and you love to sit in a public place and watch the various people going by and seeing what they're doing and just trying to come up with what you think their background is and do some low-level behavioral analysis in that. There is so much that goes behind our behavior that I feel like there's an innate intrigue in why we do the things we do. Specifically, if it's radical behavior or behavior that we could not identify with ourselves. Ted Bundy's behavior is not something I could identify with myself. And for me, personally, that's an intriguing point for me. Like, why would anybody do that? What gets a person to that point? And obviously, this is where my interest in all of that comes in, but I feel like it's really not uncommon, and I feel like the interest is growing even more. There have been several trials of the century on TV since the original trial of the century of O.J. Simpson. That started it. That was, I think, the first time that nationally a trial was broadcast on television, and it caught people's interest. It made people think, and it hooked people into the storyline. Since then, there have been several more, whether it was Michael Jackson, whether it was Casey Anthony, Amanda Knox, and there have been high-profile murders like JonBenet Ramsey. There's the Black Dahlia murders. There's serial killers that are famous like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer, all who became famous because of horrific acts that they committed, because of their crimes. And this has been a danger that FBI have fought for a while, and you can even see it in Criminal Minds if you watch Criminal Minds. There are major cases the FBI have worked on that have had to fight somebody doing this just for the attention. So they play down the attention that the person gets if they feel like that's a part of the personality profile. This interest comes from a desire for justice, a desire to see a good end to a really horrible thing, the intrigue of a good mystery, and to find out what really happened. And like I said before, just to understand human behavior and what in the world would bring somebody to act like that, or what type of person could do something like that. So I thought it would be fun to kind of explore that a little. A Time magazine article talked about this same topic, and their conclusion was that it basically equates to a real-life scary movie. It's a spectacle that's hard to look away from. It's a good mystery. It invokes our fight or flight reaction through the fear and intensity of the story. It can give you a good dose of adrenaline. And I think that is what piques the interest of a lot of us in those types of stories and those types of headlines. So I'm wondering how many of you like watching those type of shows and seeing the reports of true crime and watching like Forensic Files, where you're seeing cold cases that actually happened, or listening to podcasts like Serial and coming up with your own theory about who did it. Let me know your favorite version of this in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, click the screen and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!